After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 452. Today is not Saturday, May 1st, 2021. Today is Friday, April 30th, 2021. And we are recording a day early because of reasons we'll talk about later.
But it's only a few hours early, to be quite honest.
It's nighttime over here. It's almost past my bedtime.
And we're hitting my prime time.
Yeah. So, anyway, I am Marlisha, also known as Lady Fernico.
And I'm Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
We want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Fun in the Woman Cave. If you are new, we are glad to have you with us. We hope you find something you enjoy and that you will stay with us. And if you are returning, we're always glad to have you back. If you are lurking in the shadows, either new or returning, please feel free to gently press the little submission, whatever that is called, a subscription tab, and hit the little bell.
So gently, you're going to hit the bell.
Gently.
Huh? You can ring it.
You ring the little bell. No, don't go there. So that you will get notifications. We'd love to have you here.
Every time the bell rings,
Angel gets the swings. We'd love to have you officially with us. If you want to take part in the alongs or giveaways or just all the fun stuff that happens, the camaraderie and all that happens in our home group, which is phnpodcast.freeforums.net. That's phnpodcast.freeforums.net. We'd love to see you there. All you have to do is, the link is in the description box. Just press the link and then say that you want to join, and we'll let you in as soon as we know you're not a bot.
Yes.
So, okay.
Do you have? Yeah, I have a few more than you.
I have 7.
I have 10.
Okay.
I don't know how I managed to get 10, but
I don't even know how I managed to get 7. It's been one heck of a week.
I think it's just one of those weeks where we just have project ADD, maybe, or maybe certain projects don't get a lot of.
Well, I think 4 of the ones I worked on, I did on the podcast.
I think a couple. The thing is, I was not really great about keeping up on my notes this week. Like, normally I do a lot better, but if I look at my notes, there's like no extra information. It's like I barely get the projects down. Sometimes I forget to put down what book I'm reading. Like, okay, so we're actually both having the same tea, so it's not really going to be that much of a win for Mom to go second. We are having Tazo, the reincarnation of tea. Mom got me this tea a long time ago. Whole leaf teas and herbal infusions. Refresh is the name of the tea. It's got peppermint, spearmint, and tarragon. And yeah.
And more importantly for me, no caffeine, because I'm going to bed right after the podcast.
Yes.
So.
Good thing tea doesn't really go bad, because it's the best buy date of 2011. I don't think I even opened it until this year.
Buy me peppermint tea, Mom.
Actually, I don't think I asked you to buy me peppermint tea.
You did.
Because I was highly caffeinated tea at the person.
No, but you were also doing herbals.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing everything.
I don't think I opened that until this year. Or maybe I had it once. I'm using my All I Want Is to Hug All the Bunnies mug. Because I wanted more tea.
This is what my daughter's head looks like.
And Little Night Stroop.
I'm having a soft baked oatmeal square, Nature Valley. I already had a Stroop today.
There can never be too many
Stroops. Okay.
Especially not this brand. They're really soft.
They are.
Plus pink gluten-free, dairy-free.
Okay.
Your Sweet Amsterdam commercial, which is not paid for.
No. All right. Let's see what we have here. I guess we'll go right into alongs. We don't have any.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think we have any administrata. The first along that we have going is the PHN Christmas All Year Long Cal Cal Lao 2021. As it states, it's all year. So it started January 1st. We are finished with the first quarter and we have just started the second quarter. The prizes are pulled quarterly. I'm going to read the rules for this and I will just adjust them where they need adjusting for the other alongs. This runs January 1st through December 31st. That's Eastern Standard Time midnight. Projects must be knit, loom knit, or crocheted. Previous whips will be allowed but must be worked on during the along. Chatter and pictures are in the same thread. 1 whip per project per week. The FO whenever it's completed, and prizes, as I said, we'll announce them as we can. There are prizes.
So
It's just that we kind of decided to do this on the spur of the moment. Again, we'll explain that later in life stuff, but
life happened.
Life happened, and so
As it do.
We're doing a little bit early this week. Any FOs in the Franciscan Gypsies design patterns, Lady Fernicle Creations yarn, or my shawl pattern, Lollipop Girl yarns, or Laura Concert designs. 10 hours or less is Braided Bright, and Miss World's weighted lap gown and teddy bear. That she's what's she known as now?
Oh gosh, I can't remember because I don't have it memorized.
I think it's modest something.
A Modest Creation.
A Modest Creation. Those are all eligible for 2 chances at a prize for the finished object. If you use a featured yarn with a featured pattern
You need to
for
have
the
a
finished
posted
object,
peppermint.
then it's 3 chances at a prize as long as you do the multiple postings yourself. What, Taya?
You need a sip of peppermint.
I did.
Okay, good. Because it makes happy.
Yeah.
Sorry about the interrupt. In my head, you were done speaking, but you weren't.
The hashtag is PHN Christmas All Year 2021 on Instagram. Oh, I'm sorry. If the FO uses 50 yards or less, and this is true for all the alongs, please post with another FO of 50 yards or more. I forgot to mention Operation Christmas Child or any projects going to Christmas donations or the pregnancy center or anything like that. They're eligible for 2 chances at a prize. And for those of you who do not celebrate Christmas, we know there are some of you out there who don't. Projects that are made predominantly in the Christmas colors that we determined are Christmas colors.
Yes.
Shades of red, blue, green, silver, gold, purple, and pink, along with white, will be eligible for 2 chances at prize for the finished object. Okay. Let's see. The quarter 2 prize is a little. It's pink cotton yarn from Cloudborne and a little small pink bag that goes with it, and then the second one is a Plymouth yarn. And it's 3 skeins of blue striped yarn. I think it's called Galloway. Okay, so that's that.
That's fine. I would have thought Galloway would have been like green.
Yeah, well, it might also be that is the base.
Yeah.
Because I don't have it with it to look.
You don't have it with it?
Don't ask me. I'm really tired and I'm going to be really... You're going to get some very strange verbiage. Stranger than normal because I'm tired.
This was actually her idea. It wasn't mine.
Yeah, but the more I thought about it, the more I thought it might be better to go ahead. Autism Awareness 2021 is the other along that we're doing right now. That's our baby. And this one is basically to raise awareness of autism. In the past, we've done information, and we might still do some of that, but it's mostly going to be anecdotal this year, I think. The purpose is just when you're knitting and crocheting to remember people on the spectrum and be aware. Let's see. I'm trying to see what we have. This started April 1st and will end June 30th. So we've just finished the first third of the CAL today. Yesterday. Well, I guess it's actually today as we're recording.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first month of the CAL done. We have 2 more months, and let's see. As in all of them, whips are allowed, so it doesn't matter when you start as long as you work on it. The hashtag is hashtag PHNAA2021, and we have a lovely co-host, that's Laura, who's Crocheting Whovian from the Crocheting Whovian podcast. We're very glad to have her with us.
Yes, we are.
And all the projects in our group, unless otherwise noted, have to be knit, loom knit, or crochet. Okay, this time there's no exception. And let's see here. The majority of the projects should be bright colored. And by that I mean, 85% or more. Okay. Let's see here. Colors that aren't bright enough will probably be moved to the show off thread so that it doesn't mess up my count when I pull for prizes. And because they're not quite eligible. So let's see. We have the same Franciscan Gypsies design. Oh, you know what? I think I messed things up.
What?
I said that Braided Bright and the Weighted Lap Gown were featured patterns for Christmas. That's not true.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
They weren't. Okay. The Braided Bright and the, that's why I couldn't find hers.
Oh,
The Braided
okay.
Bright and the Autism Awareness Bear and Weighted Lap Pad. One is by 10 Hours or Less, and the other is by Modest Creation, formerly Miss World. Those were not eligible for.
Maybe
well,
you should not run through prizes right now.
this is not prizes.
Okay.
This is Braided Bright and Autism Awareness Bear and Weighted Lap Pad are not eligible for multiple chances at a prize for Christmas. It's for the autism awareness.
Yes.
Okay? So that's Autism Awareness. Braided Bright Cal Pattern by 10 Hours or Less. Autism Awareness Bear and Weighted Lap Pad by A Modest Creation, formerly Miss World. Those are 2 chances at a prize for autism awareness for the finished objects, as is anything in Lady Vertical Creations or Lollipop Girl Yarns that's bright, and any brightly colored pattern of Talia's, or my one pattern, or Laura's patterns, as long as it's brightly colored. So that's the autism awareness part of it, okay? And that's multiple chances at a prize, and if you use the yarn with the pattern, then that's 3 chances at a prize. I'm not going to go into the prizes this time around. I'm going to go right into the next along, which is Not Our Baby. We are serving as a platform, and we wholeheartedly support it. It's a comfort along, and this is put on by Wombat of Doom and B-Wing, who is Brittany. And I'm going to read their rules because I'm having enough trouble doing my own, and I know
Yes.
them. So, the main purpose of this event is to make specific items for donations to Comforting Crafts. It runs from March 1st, 2021 through midnight, June 30th, 2021 Eastern Standard Time. No previous whips are allowed, so you have to have started it March 1st or later. Items eligible for the Comfort Along can be knitted, crocheted, or loom knit. Specific items, they are concentrating on dishcloths, washcloths, and hats. Hat sizes can be from a young child through adult, and there's a greater need for boys' colors or gender neutrals. Please keep that in mind. Patterns like the Fits the Whole Fam hat by Cozy Up Knits are perfect since they are so stretchy and are suitable for many sizes. Chatter and pictures are all on the same thread. 1 whip per project per week, the FO whenever it's completed. And if you are also in the Comforting Crafts Facebook group, feel free to post your pictures there as well. Prizes will be randomly generated through our PHN normal method, which is a random number generator from the PHN thread, okay, not from Comforting Crafts, from our threads in our group.
Yeah, not from the Facebook group.
No. Apparently the prizes that they have so far, they have 2 skeins of Dishy yarn, dishcloth pattern booklets, handmade greeting cards made by B-Wing. Those are awesome.
Yes, they are.
And Talia has donated one of her her Tortoise versus Hare pattern books, and I'm donating a skein of yarn. So there's a lot of nice prizes up here for the winner of this along, okay? And that takes care of that. I'm going to stop talking and have my oatmeal bar and my tea.
TTT.
Maybe my brain will wake up.
Perhaps. Mayhaps. Rough drafts?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Opening my show notes. I'll do 2, because they are 10 to your 7, so I do 2 twice.
I think so.
And if I'm wrong, I'll do another 2 at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is in my Silver Shed USA Peanuts Christmas bag. Apparently, Schultz hated the name Peanuts. It wasn't his choice. His original choice for the comic was Little Folk. Or I think it was Little Folk. But that there are too many little comics out there at the time. And they chose Peanuts at random to try to, I guess Howdy Doody called their kid audience the Peanut Gallery. And they're trying to kind of capitalize on that. He would never call it Peanuts. He would try to, like, he referred to himself as drawing that comic with Charlie Brown and Snoopy and those guys. Or he would try to add, like, after Peanuts, Charlie Brown and Friends in hopes that that would catch on. Never did. But anyway, after your Peanuts history lesson, and here's Davina's Christmas stocking. So that's a design, which is why you don't get to see it. Hopefully it'll be done by Christmas.
Your turn.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Excuse me. In my Silvershed USA Tree Frogs bag is my Buttercups and Bluebells Field shawl. The pattern is on the forest floor. I was asked why I call it what I do. First of all, it's a color scheme.
Why did you just call the field Buttercups and Bluebells?
First of all, it's a color scheme. And I've always loved buttercups. I think they're sweet. I actually can't picture what bluebell is, but it was the first blue flower that really fit in that idea for me. So that's why bluebells are in there. But honestly, it's mostly because I love buttercups. Yes, it's probably more like dandelions. I don't care. It makes me think of buttercups. The pattern is actually on the forest floor by Simone Crete. It is available on Ravelry. I believe that's the only place for it. But it looks like Ravelry's letting you purchase...
At least for the time being.
At least for the time being, even if you're not a member, as far as I can tell. So, it's had a little bit of progress, but that's all you can have at one time when it gets to this length, because it has a ton of stitches.
It looks like you have a lobster bib. Very expensive, pretty lobster bib. It wouldn't do much good to keep the lobster juice off your clothes.
I actually can't quite picture what they looked like, because I've only had...
They look like baby bibs.
But they apparently they have a little...
Yeah, and they're plastic.
Baby bibs don't have that little...
Some do.
Oh, I've never seen one that does.
Yeah, you guys used to have the baby bibs with the pockets in them.
I mean, it makes sense. Of course, kids are probably very talented about getting it around the pocket. But yeah, that's this one so far. I do love the colors. They make me happy.
Okay, my next one, my first one, is in my... Where is it? Ploverbird Mickey Mouse bag. And this is my Cerebelle. It's a spoiled bunny stomp scarf from the Cerebelle scarf pattern by Sarah Sweethearts. Test designer yarns, and yeah, and the hook. I don't know which hook it is. I think it's a eye hook or something. I don't know.
It doesn't say on there, does it?
It might.
It's an eye.
Yeah.
5.5 millimeter.
Yeah. So that's it.
Did you actually show it, or did you just like talk about it?
I'm going to have to walk through everything because I'm just tired. There you go. It looks more orange in the small screen than it really is, but I guess the big one's more true to color.
Yeah. Okay. In my... This one I didn't work very much on, but I did work a little bit on it. Me! Come here. This one's still heavy because I haven't knit through all my balls of yarn. I probably have way more balls of yarn here that I actually need for this project. Okay, so this is in my Silvershed USA PHM Faces bag. This is a color tunic for me. The pattern is Tunic with Valdre's pattern from the Hand Knits from Norway book by Karen Marie Vinhe. So, this is very soft yarn. It's happy. And it doesn't get as much love as it should.
It's nice. It's soft to me, I think, with a non-superwash.
Yeah, it's Cascade 220. No, wait, this one's not Cascade 220. This one's Shepherd's Wool. So yeah, I have a little bit to go before another little, because I'm in shaping area.
Miles to go before you sleep.
So, and this is just a little short sleeve tunic, which will be nice, you know, just as a sort of layering piece. You know, just to wear and then, you know, have or not have a sweater over it. First time is just a little chilly. It's a pullover. I don't have very many pullovers. I do plan on changing it. I want to eventually knit the Fireside by Blast. What's her face?
Would it be more appropriate to say what's her name?
The one who does all the big...
Jim Richmond.
Thank you. The Fireside by Jane Richmond. I want to knit one of those. It's a pullover with a really nice V collar, overlapping V collar. And it's just gorgeous. I want to knit that at some point. I'm getting my sweater mojo back. The other one, my last one of the doubles, is in my... Come here, precious.
You're precious.
Yes. In my Knitter's Magic soft brown and pink bag. This is the Canary Song. It's the Comfort Yourself with Your Music pattern from the Little Women Knits pattern book by Joanna Johnson. And I think I mostly worked on this on Saturday and Sunday. I know I worked on it on the podcast.
It's growing.
Yes. Let's see. Yeah, I have it facing the right direction. So it does grow.
It do grow?
Yes, it do. Indubitably.
Indubitably.
So.
Not recuse yourself.
I don't usually have that many. I think this is the first sideways sweater I've ever worked. Most of my sweaters have been either top down or bottom up. So I look forward to having that.
It made me think of the BFG and the fizzy stuff that doesn't go the right way. The bubbles don't go up, they go down. The bubbles don't go down, they go up. I forget what it is.
I can't remember. It's been many years since I've read the BFG. And I think I also don't remember because it was read to me because that was when Dad used to read it to us.
Well, we saw the movie. We had the movie.
I've seen parts of the movie, but honestly, most of my BFG memories are related to the book.
Mm-hmm. Never read the book.
You haven't seen Matilda, which is a crime.
Oh, I guess.
No, it's worth it. It's a classic. You're missing out. Besides, you like Danny DeVito.
I do like Danny DeVito. I like Rhea Perlman too. She's funny. Okay. Get rid of this. In my, talented. In my Knitter's Magic large lavender flowers on a dark field bag it's a very soft bag, is my Welcome Little One project from the On the Forest Floor pattern. I always want to say.
Not on the forest floor.
It's on the...
On the back porch.
And I even read it. On the porch blanket. Looked right at it.
It's like when I used to say tree turtles.
Yes. So I did a little bit. I figured out something on this pattern. When I wrote the stuff down so I knew what I was doing, I misread my notation. So there's nothing wrong as long as I stay in pattern. The only thing that's going to happen is that these stripes are going to be narrower than they originally intended to be. They're supposed to be double the size. So it's going to be a little different than what it was originally intended. It's not going to make the pattern any worse. It's my own fault. I'm calling it design.
Right. Well, as long as you're consistent with it.
I'm going to be consistent with it. And so I did
it's a modification.
It's a modification unintentionally, but it does work.
Yes.
So, and the yarn is Lady Vertical Creations Bare Necessities.
Okay, so the next one, I don't even remember working on this, but I know I must have. This week has been such that maybe I just don't remember working on it. Alright, so in my Silver Shed USA Kitties in the News bag, first your news story, let's see. Here we go. This one's appropriate for today. Windy weather report with chilly calico. I want to make sure it does say meteorologist.
Melio?
I don't know why it says Melio.
Or probably Meowlo. Is it M-E-O-W?
It looks like M-E-L-E.
That's weird.
Meteorologist Chili Calico says, it's raining cats and dogs out there, and we all know dogs are bad news. Maybe it's just the typeface that makes the L look like a T. Or like it makes the T look like an L. So here's the kitty cat. He says it's bad news. So in this bag with that bad news about the weather, it's been windy and rainy over here.
Yeah.
Surprisingly little symptoms though, just a little bit of chest discomfort. Train.
Yes. And by that, she means you can't hear the horn. There's a
Yeah,
train
we have
whistle.
we have train tracks, not close enough that we will actually hear the train itself. On the tracks, we'll just hear the
whistle.
The whistle.
Which is kind of neat.
So, this is Lake of Shining Waters. The pattern is Ann Sweater from Green Gables Knits by Joanna Johnson. And the yarn is Andean Treasure in the colorway Sapphire Heather. Now this does curl because this is baby alpaca in stockinette.
Pretty.
So,
Very pretty.
soft too.
Mhm.
I have a feeling that this will not, I will not be adverse to knitting another sweater with this yarn.
Which may be like green one.
Yeah. You'll be like, I don't want to knit this anymore. Here.
I don't feel like doing anything. I'm really having a hard time finding what I want to do.
Mhm.
Okay. You have to do another one?
No.
Okay.
Okay. You see, I should just try Snook and do another one.
In my Silver Shed USA Black and Blue Star Wars bag is the Garden Path scarf project, and it's my own pattern that I'm just fiddling around with. And the yarn is James C. Brett, which is it's like a super chunky or something. It's got a humongous amount of yardage for this kind of a yarn. I think it's like 350 yards or something. This is really pretty gray. I don't even know what it's called. It looks maybe like cobblestone.
Because James
or
C.
something.
Brett never gives you the name.
Never does. But the yarn is beautiful.
It is acrylic, just
It is acrylic.
for people who do not like acrylic or
Yeah.
or can't handle acrylic. I believe I knew someone on Ravelry who was allergic.
Yeah, there was somebody who was allergic in our group for a while to acrylic. But this is the reason I decided not to do.
And it's a bit of a loose ply if you don't like a loose plied yarn.
The reason I didn't go ahead and do this as a pattern is because it's not showing what I was doing anyway. So I'm just kind of winging it. Whatever I do, I do.
Whatever you feel like doing at the second.
Yeah, it's kind of mismatch of whatever I'm doing. So that's all it is. It's
It means you don't need to care. It's just
just I kind of try to stay in some kind of pattern, but if I don't, oh well.
it's
so
not like
dark.
anyone can see it.
No, it's okay.
Alrighty. So, next is for me the Puget Sound, which is the Fundamental Men's Pullover by Jen Hagen.
Jen Hagen.
Okay. I just try to imagine that she's like the sister of Festus Hagen.
Right.
And that's how I remember her. Although Jen's way too normal name for the Hagen clan in Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
Anywho. This is a sweater that I cast on for Dad. Use it in Cascade 220 worsted in the colorway Puget Sound. There. And do I remember the color number? Absolutely not. I looked up a long time ago what the actual color name was, which is the only reason I know it. Let me see if I have one that's... Yeah, here's one that's not scanned up. This is Cascade 220, and the color number is 9487. Puget sounds a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
In the Bat Signal bag, this bag is kind of stuffed. I know once I get more pieces knit, it'll be at least a little more manageable. So I am at the shaping part of the back. So here's where the sleeve would be attached here. Actually, let me there so you can see a little bit better. So here's one side for the sleeve, and here's the other side for the other sleeve, and I just have to go up for a total of 4 inches from where my decreases stop, and then I think I have maybe another set of decreases or something, and then I have that's right, I had to then form for the shoulder, and then I would put them on waist yarn, and then I start the front, probably is my guess, because this I don't think this is one that has sides. I think it's just front.
It's
back.
just front and back.
Yeah.
They don't usually have sides on a
No.
pullover. You might on a even on a cardigan, it's front and back, but it's
Yeah. I don't think you ever really have sides. So it's front, back, and then it's been a long time since I've done piece sweater. Can you tell? Front, back, and then
I don't
sleeves.
think you ever had.
Yeah. My crocheted
Yeah, but I meant knitted.
Well, I didn't specify. I just
Yeah.
said pieced sweater.
Yeah, but thought it was a knitted project, I thought you meant the
I have
knitted.
done at least one, if not more,
Hmm.
pieced crochet sweaters when I first started.
Okay, let's see here.
So actually, that got a fair amount of work this week because I finally hit the point where I could do something besides going straight, and I finally hit my number of inches.
Just get a little bit of drink here.
I like hair in my mouth.
Unfortunately, decaffeinated doesn't wake you up at all.
Although peppermint does make you feel a little more fresh and happy and awake.
Let me see here.
I should consider having peppermint at night when I get that little bit of burning from sitting up too long because it actually is soothing.
Okay, my next one is in my Knitter's Magic Owl bag. And this is the Not a Cozy Memories blanket from the Crochet Granny Square tutorial by K.F. Jones.
A Bakery Bear's fan.
A Bakery Bear's fan. I actually finished a square.
Woohoo!
So this big pink one here. And started another one. Well, I think this one's going to be a small one.
You see, I would have called that purple.
It's kind of a fuchsia. It's got a lavender undertone to it. It's not a strictly speaking pink.
Because at first I thought it was just my green glasses, but...
So
Speaking of which, I broke these. The one lens is just kind of hanging out there and it keeps popping out. I'm waiting for my other pair to come in because I didn't bring the ridiculously cheap ones with me to laugh at.
I think I might be able to do another row on here. Or maybe this is just going to be small.
Maybe the yarn's slightly smaller.
I don't know.
Although it does kind of look like you have another row,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
I think it might.
I think you do.
I might just put this aside and make another one.
Mm-hmm. Like maybe you didn't do the completes.
Yeah. I think I had to do one more round. This one's being done. I will put this in here for now. Yeah, so anyway, this is my Knitter's Magic bag. It's an owl bag. And it's really nice. This is not one of the softer ones. This is a really sturdy, kind of almost canvasy kind of cotton or something. So it's really nice.
Okay, so next for me, bring up my show notes again. In my Silver Shed USA, oops, is a bunny bag. My spoon just tried to escape. Okay. Is the Sunday Funnies house socks, which is the Dance All Night socks pattern. And these socks are for Mom. This uses
Miss Babs?
I know it's Miss Babs. I can't remember the color. Oh, so it's Funny Papers.
Yeah.
This is the first sock, been done for a while. I am so close to being done for the second one. I really was hoping to finish it before the podcast, but I just wasn't able to get done.
You might have if we had done it Saturday.
Yeah, I would have been a close thing, but I might have. But I'm so close to starting the toe.
Very pretty.
Um,
Works up really nice for a sock.
I don't find this particular yarn enjoyable to work with, simply because it's too variegated for my liking.
And by this kind of yarn, she doesn't mean yowza, she means the colorway.
Yeah. Because I'm just not a fan of her variegateds, a lot of them. Now, if there's a little bit more distance between the colors, I'm okay with that. It's just a little busy for my liking.
It's personal preference.
It is. It is. I just don't like terribly busy yarns.
Okay, my next one is my Comfy Cozy shawl project from the Scrap Shawl pattern by Anastasia Sattel. And it's in my Ploverbird pink and purple teacups bag. It's this bag. Let's see here. Did a little bit of work on this, not a whole lot, but some. I think mostly on the podcast. Yeah. Oops.
The bunny.
I'll get a drink after I'm done showing this. So, here's where I'm at. And you can see this always looks like it grows exponentially. It grows
That's the
really
joy
fast.
of crochet.
This, well, it's not even this. This is even more than normal crochet. It just seems to grow.
Well, you also tend to like use bigger hook.
Yeah, I love this pattern. It's probably my favorite Anastasia.
It's a very
style.
comfy shawl.
It is, and this is a nice weight. It's not quite as lightweight as the one I made for
Crystal.
Crystal from Chronically Crocheting. Guys, I am really tired. I'm going to try to muddle through this and not fall asleep. You might have a Sleepy Mom episode. So,
no moms were hurt in the production of this episode.
Right.
This was actually by the mom's insistence.
it wasn't insisted. It was a suggestion. Okay, so this is Miss Bab's yarn. And I'm not even going to attempt to work on any more projects tonight because I'm going to end up ripping it out. So,
Okay, so unless it's something that's just straight knitting.
I don't know. No. I'm having enough trouble focusing on my words. I don't think I'm going to be able to focus on pattern. Because that's one of the easiest things of all, to do. Also, my hands are hurting a little bit. I think it's the weather.
Yeah, well, it's been raining and stuff. So, this is move bags for reasons that'll be made apparent later.
It's what?
This project is move bags for reasons that'll be made apparent
Oh,
later.
moved bags. I couldn't figure out what you were saying. Moved bags.
This is a bag I don't even know where I got it from. This is a Plover Bird Dr. Seuss bag.
I want to say that was a prize.
Probably, because that's not a fabric that I could see that I would have necessarily snagged. Not that I don't like the bag. Actually, I think you and I did trade. Maybe.
Not for that.
I thought maybe I had something you wanted. I don't remember.
I don't think I ever had that bag.
Okay, well maybe it was a prize.
I don't know. I can't remember that far back.
So, the project in this bag is the Hood of Courtly Love. And it's the Thorns cowl for Davina. It is actually a free pattern, the Thorns cowl. I had a couple people ask about it after the last podcast, and so I provided a link to where you can find it. I found it originally on a page full of free Lord of the Rings and Hobbit patterns, so Tolkien patterns. Way back when, I don't even remember why I was looking for such a thing, because it's actually not technically a Ravelry pattern. Ravelry would send you to this other page. And all the chatter was actually literally to get to the end of my row. I am using Lady Fernico Creations in the colorway Courtly Love. This was originally a part of the Lady's Favor kit. It was the Ready Pinky version. Davina chose this for her Thorns cowl. Hers has some fishnet lace that's option 4, I believe, that has lace option. And there's just so many ways you can personalize this pattern. It's a hooded cowl for people who remember seeing it last week, and mine is here somewhere, but I don't feel like putting it on right now. But yeah, she's excited to watch it grow. She keeps commenting on it. My goal is to maybe have it for her birthday.
I mean, don't put too much of a stressor on yourself.
It's not really a stressor because it's what I want to work on right now.
It's only 2 weeks away, so.
Yeah, it's easy to put that pressure on myself when it's what I want to knit. So, and it actually works up very fast because it's on US 10s. So.
Okay. Let's see here. In my Mama C Large Owls bag is the bag end wrap project from the Burr Wrap pattern by KF Jones. And I think the only thing I did for this was during the podcast as well. Maybe a little bit more. I think I did a little bit more because I'm in the middle of a row.
Yeah, because you thought about working on it today.
Yeah, it only was too dark.
That's
So I'm
right.
one of these days I'm going to take this out and you guys are going to drop your teeth because I've switched colors. But not yet. That time's not today.
Today is not that day.
Tonight is not that night.
Yes.
So I've got this cute little owl stitch marker that Mama C gave me, Christina gave me.
You have so many outstitch marks that I should actually have to think about it.
No, I knew who it was from. I was just trying to make sure I knew it was
said
the person who made the bag, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's basically different yarns. I think I've got some Dragonfly and maybe some, what do you call it? Miss Babs.
Okay, so then I didn't work very much on this one. It was mostly, I think, a token row or two. Because I was sitting in bed and I was like, oh yeah, I should probably work on this. Sorry, I keep itching.
Yeah.
So in my Ploverbird TARDIS bigger on the inside bag, this is my Dobbinwood bag. It's not going to know what happened, what hit it when this project is finally done. Because this has had Dobbinwood for like the past 2 years or so. So this is Inkheart. It's the Dobbinwood by K.F. Jones of Baker Bears fame. And it's for Mom.
Yay.
And it's starting off with the Inkwell. I'm still very much in the beginning parts. And I forgot how many stitches there are at the beginning. Because it is really like a blanket until you get to the
Right.
flap thing. So it does take a while to knit. And it's on only like US 7s. So,
Well, Kay likes her 7s.
yes. So this is really is more of a long-term project. So I think it's on the smallest needles that I have for my bigger projects right now.
Project, long-term, ongoing project.
Oh, the plops, yes. So, yeah. Eventually I will reach a different color.
I'm noticing a common refrain here.
Yes.
Okay.
And they're both for cake projects.
They are. What do you think about that?
I know, right?
Okay, my next one is in my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Silver Shed USA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles bag. And this is my Balin's hooded cowl. And this is going to be torn out because I did manage to twist the stitches when I joined it. So
When she casts on again, I'll probably help her join. We're thinking that because I'm using interchangeables, my cable's just a smidge bigger than hers.
if I can find 10s on a larger cord, I might cast on and join there and then at
Because this actually says 22.
22.
Because you have a 32, right?
I guess, yeah. No, they asked for... Do you think I got the wrong cable?
I wonder because this...
Because this looks like a 20... No, this is a 32. Because I measured it... Maybe these are 24s?
Maybe it's a 24, Mom. Because that looks awfully small. Maybe it calls for a 24.
Might.
Can't remember.
Let's see.
It
Yeah,
does call for a
24.
24.
Mhm.
Okay. You see, I'm using a 22, and this needle makes it longer to the 24.
I wonder if I should get a 32 because that's... You're not having any trouble pulling the
This
stitches.
is 24. I'm 22.
Yeah, but the needles are on the either end.
Yeah, but that would only add another 2
that's-
inches.
That's 4 inches. No, sweetheart.
Oh, I guess this is about 2 inches.
The marking of the cord is... This is the marking of the cord, right?
Yes.
From here to the... Not the needles.
Yeah.
So this is another 4 to 6 inches on either side.
Yeah, I wonder how they count it from there. I have to measure the actual cord.
Well, from what I understand, when you measure circulars, you do it from the tip of each needle.
Mm.
And so if that's the case, that's why this is so crowded.
Right.
And yours isn't. And so I could have, just...
Do you have any interchangeables?
Oh, I have plenty of interchangeables. I just don't like using them.
Because you could do what I did, which is... Because this is a pair of interchangeables.
I'll have to see what I have.
Rather than purchase a whole new set of needles.
I'll have to see what I have.
Because then you could just do what I did, which is grab... Now, you don't have ChowGoo interchangeables.
I might. I have a set of ChowGoos, but I don't know if they're interchangeables.
Because I think by the time you start getting ChowGoos, you already decided you didn't like interchangeables. Yeah. Most of your interchangeables might be nitpicks.
Yeah. So that's it. I'll think about that tomorrow or something.
Okay, so... Next is my last one. I don't think I worked on this one very much. I must have just done just enough to be able to say I worked on it. In my Star Knits R2 triangle bag is... It's candy corn head, which is the Davina's hat pattern by me.
Candy corn head.
And it's for Davina, yes. I thought that was appropriate. This is Lady Fernico Creations. I'm actually working a couple things in your yarn, including, of course, the design, but outside the design even. This is Lady Fernico Creations in the candy corn colorway, and it's on the sparkle base. So,
Like gentle sparkle base.
yes, it is.
It is there. It's hard. It doesn't pick up well on the camera, but it is there.
Well, I always look over my migraine glasses to try to look at the sparkle, because it doesn't always show up on my migraine glasses.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that barely got work on it. I think because what I've wanted to work on has been the Thorns cow. It's like all I want to work on.
Well, I wanted to work on that too, but it's twisting and it's very tight on that cord. So I'll have to see what I can find. All right, I don't have any projects more.
And I don't either.
No,
so,
no finished objects.
I don't either. So that then leads us on to any graphic novel?
Nope.
That leads us on to Bead and Strings. So I do have a bit of beads and string. First of all, let's discuss the beads and string that was not intended to be a beads and string today. I handed Mom a rosary because she didn't have one with her like she usually likes to for online mass. So I handed her one from my bag, and this was using one of my old cords. Now, to be fair, I keep the rosary in a pouch on my side, and it stays on me at all times. So it gets a lot of being laid on and smushed and that kind of thing. Handed her the rosary. As soon as she took it in her hand, it broke.
I didn't do anything.
So she broke my rosary. She has managed to break 3 rosaries pre-paracord.
Yeah, I haven't broken any paracord rosaries. None.
Yeah.
And I think I still have one that's not paracord. Or did you fix all mine?
No, your one with big beads is paracord, and because you only have 2 I made you, don't you?
And the sacrifice beads.
And
this. That's sacrifice beads.
Yeah.
Oh, and my St. Paul.
All of them have been remade.
Yeah.
All the ones that you had the old cord have been remade because you're just too awful on your stuff.
I
Because I have slept with my migraine one, which has way bigger beads and the old cord, and it's held up. Davina's used her whole her cord just fine. Mom tends to twist it around her hands, but she'd have to be Superwoman to break this because it has a 90-pound. It's the ability to hold up 9 pounds. So this is with my new paracord on there. And this is my replacement rosary for myself. All the same beads. Just I'm using Imperial.
I made it so she had a better cord.
This is my Imperial Red cord. I knew I was going to replace it eventually. I was wondering who would break it, and I just thought it was hilarious that she was the one who broke it.
She's laughing in the middle of math.
Then I started 2 new rosaries for the shop. I'm not sure if I'm calling this Guardian Rosary or Heavenly Protectors. I'm using one of my new cords. This is Colonial Blue. It's beautiful.
It is pretty.
And the centerpiece on one side has St. Michael, on the other side has a Guardian Angel. And the same thing for the Our Father beads. It actually matches the picture on the centerpiece.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. So there's the St. Michael side.
Very cool.
There's the Guardian Angel side. So it's exactly the same. You won't be able to see the Our Father. But it's exactly the same as the centerpiece. Which I thought was super cool. So, and I feel like this blue is gorgeous.
It's very pretty.
And the other one I started was one I did have in my shop at one point, but I hadn't made another one in a while, so I hadn't renewed the listing because it's back when I had the old cord and I wasn't sure I could get the color again when I moved to the new cord. But I did manage to get a color that was fairly close to what I used to use with this. This is the Franciscan Rosary, so it's got the St. Francis of Assisi centerpiece and a tan cord with my sienna wood beads, and it'll have the San Damiano cross.
Right. Is it a color Santa Claus?
No, it's just normal.
That's not just bad. I was just curious.
Yeah, it's just a simple metal one.
Nice.
So yeah,
Very pretty.
and yeah, it's like my paracord's trying to develop a knot. There we go. But
Should be pretty.
it's probably the fault of deciding to randomly start 2 new rosaries for the shop that I don't have this pair of socks done like I intended to. And partially Mom's fault for breaking my rosary.
Didn't do anything. I think she weakened it so that she could laugh during Mass.
That's a good one. Okay, so that leads us on to next stuff.
I don't know what next stuff is. Royalties?
Yeah, I think it's usually
Did
royalty.
we have tea? I thought we had tea last week. I had tea this week. I don't think I took it out.
We had tea, but you had, wait,
I gave you some.
Yes.
Yes, we didn't have any tea this time around.
I guess you're right. You're right, we didn't. I couldn't remember. So that leads us on to other stash enhancement.
yeah. Taya did some stuff, so I got this from her.
Some scissors.
Some scissors from Knit Picks, which I like Knit Picks scissors because they're really good, but also they have this little guard so that you don't poke your bag or you poke whatever.
And it keeps your scissors staying nice and sharp.
Yeah, so I really like these. I mean, you can tell these are sharp scissors by looking at them. They're just,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're nice and sharp.
I think this is the best idea.
It is. And they're my preferred scissors.
Mine too.
So I had some of those too. I didn't grab, but I also got the whole reason why I had a Knit Picks order to begin with is I needed those magnet strips that I used to mark my pattern when I'm doing a chart, because I actually lost some on the podcast last week when I was doing my yellow sweater. So I got those. Then I decided to just go ahead and pick up the yarn for a sweater I've been wanting to knit Davina. And it's just going to be a long-term present for her. It's going to be like Christmas and birthday or something like that. Not this birthday, but so it'll cover me for a couple different things. So the sweater I decided to make her, it's called the Hillcrest coat. So it's got some cables in the back and it's got a zipper.
And it's fashionable.
And it's fashionable, so she might actually wear a sweater when Mom tells her to. So I had to get it in gray. This is Cobblestone Heather. It's really soft.
It is.
It's Knit Pick Swish. And it's the bulky. So I am waiting for
I
Vicini.
was going to say that.
I'm pretty sure that my gauge swatch is going to be in the 10, which is still coming in. Yeah, larger needles. So, waiting for that. My 7s came in, though. Can always use 7s.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 32 inch, but it's not the size you need. If I didn't need it for the main part of my sweater, I'd totally let you use my 10s. But that's
Yeah.
the main part of my sweater.
Excuse me.
So,
Sorry, guys.
yes, that was stash enhancement. Before we go on to reading, writing, because that's usually what comes. Oh, shop news.
Mm.
I don't think either of us have much brain power for shopping.
I do want to address a couple people contacted me. One person contacted me on Ravelry. The other one contacted me on private message on Ravelry, I think. So, I think, not Ravelry, on PHN Home. I think they were both on PHN. One was in the thread for the last podcast, last week's, and the other one was in the private message. I did get your message, and your messages this week, the last few days have been challenging, okay? So we will talk about it in a little bit. That's why I haven't gotten back to you. I will do the best I can the next few days to get back to you as things settle down and see what we can work out. I am hoping to get back to dyeing yarn. It hasn't been possible the last week for a number of reasons. One of them was Virginia taxes and federal taxes, but other stuff as well, because I thought I was going to get started and then other things happened. So
I think I almost forgot to mention the only really shop news I have is I do have a sale going on for Mother's Day for my rosary. My rosaries are particularly Marian, so it's a 15% off the original price for select rosaries. So yes, that is running until Mother's Day. Probably should have started earlier than I did.
I want to thank the special orders that all the special orders have gone out. So thank you very much for those.
Yes, and I've had special orders too, so thank you. I also want to show, although I don't think any of my special orders this time around were podcast watchers, but I might be surprised. Maybe they were. Eep, eep.
What are you doing?
Grabbing my recipe book. This is my 5 dinners, 1 hour one. I do have some cooking planned for early next week for our grandparents coming. I still plan on making this sweet and sour pork, but that's gonna be just for us because I didn't have enough pork in that recipe the way I had it set up. Not to mention, at that point, we thought it was just gonna be Davina, Mom, Grandma, and Grandpa, so we were trying to cater a little bit more to what Davina wanted. And she's really picky. When I told her that we would be doing a pork recipe, a different pork recipe, she wanted to make sure it had no weird sauces on it.
Weird sauce. What's a weird sauce?
Anything that is not boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically. She's like the worst person to cook for.
I know. She's like, no, I don't want.
She won't try anything new.
Well, she's the kind of person, I'm exaggerating, but you get the idea. Hamburger here, cheese there. You know.
That's not exaggerating. That's exactly what she does.
I mean, yeah.
Never the twain shall meet.
No. When I want a hamburger, I have a hamburger. When I want cheese, I'll have cheese. Mm-hmm.
So, this is why I have an area where I cook my own stuff, because I like Mexican food, and I'm about the only. You might eat some, but you still haven't really had consistently any of my Mexican food.
Well, that's because I'm eating with everybody else.
Yeah. So, if I want to have the kind of food I like, the kind of things I don't dislike what we have, but if I want to try any foods that I really like that I don't get in the house normally, I have to make it myself and freeze it.
I am pretty much the most eclectic eater in the house. I don't like definite types of things, but I'm pretty eclectic about what I'll try.
Well, the thing is, where I might not like vegetables in a side thing, if I cook them in to something, like especially into if I can in beans, some peppers and something that's Mexican. You know, I've come to realize I just like it in a different way maybe than everyone else does. But
you're not a purist.
Maybe. So what I'm making for the grandparents coming, it's a slow cooker ranch pork loin roast and potatoes. So I'm adjusting it to make it dairy free. My 5 dinners 1 hour. That's my dinner, my recipe club. One of the ladies is basically gluten free, dairy free, and she gave me some ideas of what she uses when she has to do a dried ranch seasoning. She told me what spices she uses, so I don't have to use dairy. So look forward to making that. My 20 million pounds of pork are in the freezer.
I get to do the 20 million hour cupcakes.
You volunteered.
Well, it has to be something you can eat.
Yes, you did. Yes, thank you.
All right, so now what?
Now that leads us on to reading, watching, and then our excuses for the week.
Yeah. Figure out why I'm so tired. Yeah, I'm pretty much reading the same. I finished.
Other than the fact that it's way past your bedtime.
I finished my mystery book about the priest.
We both finished Flourish.
Yeah, hold on. I lost my show notes. Okay. We finished Flourish. That's our Bible study. I finished my book about the priest. I'm still reading. It's a mystery book. Apparently it's a series.
Oh, okay.
And then...
you're right. I think it was the first in the series, wasn't it?
I think so. And then I'm still reading the Dragonback series by Timothy Zahn. I finished Flourish. I'm reading Jesus' Way, Truth, and Life. And I guess I read about Mother Thecla this week. I don't remember reading about her this week. And the Divine Office for Dodos.
Yes, we started reading that together because it was really hard for Mom to make time to do the flipping through. So we're reading. They're broken into small little lessons. So we're reading a lesson or two at the time at the beginning of our tea time each day. And then Mom's getting to flip through and then we talk about it and stuff.
Right.
So that she can actually get it in.
Right, and that's been helpful. And I'm reading Abandonment to Divine Providence. I started Murder in Belgravia.
Belgravia, yeah. Mm.
And
Doesn't it sound like it's a...
it's like a Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, because I think there's a murder in Bulgaria or
I forget.
something for Sherlock Holmes.
But we also started our Bible study on St. Paul.
It might be Mystery in Bell something or other.
Yeah, St. Paul's.
Yeah.
Mr. St. Paul. I think that's basically... I'm sure that there are other things, but I can't think of them right now.
So we did have quite a few in common. Jesus, Way, Truth, and Life, and the Bible study. Sorry, I've got like this itch.
Yeah, no.
And I am like right at the end of Murder in Belgravia, but I know that it's going to be a fun end, and I want to really enjoy the climax. I haven't been able to focus on the climax.
Right.
And I'm like, it would feel really... I don't want to cheapen all the experience I've had with the book to not pay attention to the end.
Right.
So I'm waiting till I can pay more attention. Read a little bit of Peace in the Storm, Meditations for Chronic Pain and Illness. We all Divine Office for Dodos. Living Memento Mori, My Journey Through Stations of the Cross. Did a little bit of that. Did a little bit of Down Among the Dead Men, A Year in the Life of a Mortuary Technician by Michelle Williams. And finally, I've been reading actually a fair amount of Queens of the Crusade by Alison Weir.
Oh, Dan wanted me to tell you that he's reading the Agatha Christie book that you wanted him to read. He's not sure he likes it, but...
Which one did I want him to read?
Adventures, Mystery at Styles, whatever it's called. Styles?
Oh, Mysterious Affair at Styles.
Styles,
He
yeah.
started with the first one. Okay.
He says he had a hard time keeping all the characters straight.
That one is a little bit hard at the beginning to keep all the characters straight. It is the first one. I do always recommend starting with that one, but it's not even my favorite one.
Yeah, that's not my favorite one either.
I don't even remember recommending it to him.
Yeah.
He must have asked me what order to start in. I don't even remember having a conversation. Maybe vaguely. I'm glad he started reading it. The payoff is worth it, though, for getting to learn Poirot.
Right.
And to meet Hastings
You
right
said
at
you
the
like
beginning.
Hastings.
Hastings is such a dodo.
Not the right kind of dodo.
No, he's not the right kind. Well, he's a good dodo, though.
But he's not that kind of dodo. That dodo looks like he's refined and he's refined,
not unrefined.
but the dodo looks like the dodo in the book looks like he's...
I could see Hastings looking like that dodo.
No, but he wouldn't be that dodo.
Well, no, he wouldn't. He's probably Church of England.
That's not what I meant.
Okay, so anyway, yeah. So okay, I'm glad Dad's giving that a shot.
You have to
That's-
understand that I do like Hastings in the book. And
even if he is a dodo.
Yeah, he is a dodo.
Um,
He has a good heart.
although he gets all huffy when he feels like Poirot's testing him or whatever,
And that goes across the movies.
or because when Poirot's listening at doorways or whatever. Oh, shocked! It's not playing the game. Murder is not a game.
Game.
Okay, so that then leads us on to personal stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So if you've seen us on Facebook, I think. Is it Facebook?
I didn't put it on Facebook. I put it on
Um,
Patreon and on the PHN.
Right.
home.
If you've seen Patreon and PHN Home, we had a little bit of a scare here. My husband went to work Monday and called and said he was coming home. He must have turned right around because it's about an hour to work, and he called and he was back home before 10, I think.
It was my first charting of symptoms was around 10.
Yeah, so he got home.
Like 10:30.
Something like that. So he got home around 10, or 9:45, 10 o'clock, something like that. He goes into work very early in the morning. He leaves here at 4 o'clock in the morning, so he gets there about 5:30. So he had to turn around almost immediately, and come back. And he was feverish. He was pale. He had the chills. I mean, chills that they were shaking his body type of chills. And so, Ty took his temperature and all that kind of stuff. We got him to, you know, rest and all that kind of stuff. Gave him, Ty periodically took vitals and things like that over the next couple of days. His temperature spiked at about 103, and then it went, started coming down a little bit, but the pain in that he was having was, I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't want to, but the pain was such that he had to go to the ER. We got a teleconference, a video conference with the doctor, and he wanted my husband to go to the ER, which he did. He's still in the hospital right now, but he's getting better. We hope he's coming home tomorrow, and then they're going to think about if he stays infection and inflammation free about surgery in a few weeks. So that's why not a whole lot's got done. That's why I'm really tired. When we started the podcast, I just got back from the hospital, and before that, my friend and I drove Davina to get her COVID shot, her second one. So I'm just kind of wiped out, and that's why I'm kind of yawning and not really.
Well, and also because it's 9 o'clock after 9 o'clock at night, and this is your bed.
Way past your bedtime. Yeah, that didn't help. So it's been kind of a rough week because we didn't realize the enormity of. I mean, that sounds horrible. It's not. We didn't know how bad it was.
Well, we thought it was a stomach bug because, sometimes you'll have a fever for a day or two, but when the pain didn't go away.
Well, they said it was stomach bug was going around, a bad one. And so
right, and that's why we really, when his temperature wasn't going down on Wednesday and he was still having pain, that was when I used a milder, he had a temperature not as bad as he had been, but he did have a temperature, and I used it to push him to call the doctor.
And then I had to push him a little bit because he didn't want to do the teleconferencing, but they wouldn't let anybody in who had 3 or more COVID symptoms. He doesn't have COVID.
No, thank heaven.
Thank God for that. But they weren't going to let, they weren't going to let him in for a regular, so he had to do a regular appointment, so they had to do a teleconference, and the doctor said, I want you to come in based on your symptoms. And so we went there, and I'm waiting. We waited there, 2 or 3 hours, maybe more. And they took him back and wouldn't let me go back because they had to test him for COVID. And they were taking so long, he finally said that they should send me home. I didn't like that. I didn't get to say goodbye or goodnight or anything. So he didn't have a cell phone or anything, So I had to bring that the next day. But he managed to he had his tablet, so he was able to text me to let me know what was going on.
Not text, he emailed you.
Emailed, whatever he did. I don't care. He got me a message. He is feeling better. They've had him on liquid diet, but he should be starting solids tomorrow again. So for those of you who've been praying and
thank you,
and keeping good thoughts and stuff like that, we really appreciate it.
For people who might not have seen it on PHN Patreon and noticed that we didn't do the Zoom today, what'll happen is PHN Live, which is for $1 and up members, that will be on next Friday.
Yeah, this coming Friday.
Then the Friday after, that's the second Friday of May, we'll do the Zoom we should have done today.
Right, and that's
our $5 members.
That's the one we missed today.
Yeah, because there was just no way today.
No, it's I had to kind of get the house a little bit in order because someone was coming over to pick me up and Davina up so we could get to the COVID shot. And it's a good thing he did come and get me because my phone wasn't working properly. That was my GPS.
Yeah.
Although my car probably wouldn't.
I do believe, if I remember correctly from the past when I've driven that way, that if I was just on... Because if I was listening to podcasts or something on my way to my spiritual direction, it would give out if I didn't have it downloaded already. So I think you hit a dead zone with the Verizon tower.
It could be. Because I lost everything.
It's just not it's out in the boondocks.
And I think my my car GPS would have been okay. But
yeah, your car GPS would have been fine. It's just that you hit a dead zone for the Verizon. Now, I don't know if it would be the same thing if you're on Wi-Fi, but I bet it would.
Because he still had his.
Maybe he had a tower closer nearby.
Yeah. I don't know what he had. Okay, so that's enough waffling about that. Do you have anything else?
Not really. I'm just sitting here knitting.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm really not very animated. I have to get to sleep, so I'm going to just say.
Well, we went an hour. I mean, that's.
Yeah. I'm just going to say thank you for joining us. We, like Ty said, for the Patreons, we have a special thing coming up on Friday. Not today's Friday, but next Friday, the first week.
Well,
Friday.
by the time they get this, it'll be Friday for them. Because...
First Friday in May, and then the second Friday in May, we have another special thing for the Patreons. And I mean, the Zooms and the lives. So,
Yeah.
We in the meantime, we want to wish you all a very blessed, happy week, full of knitting, crocheting, whatever kind of crafting it is that makes you happy. And we hope to see you back. Oh, I want to thank people who commented. I want to thank Brittany, Miss Pogo, Steph, Wendy, MacGyver, Lori, Looney Hiker, Meditative Crafter, Kara. Thank you, Kara, for giving us the pronunciation.
Yes, thank you.
Rena, Steph, and Sylvie. Thank you very much for commenting. And if I missed you, I apologize. We want to wish you, like I said, all a blessed week, and we hope to see you here for the Fun in the Women Cave next week. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 452, and that's a wrap.
Bye.